Hey guys, what's up? Hammer back here. Changed things up a little, got some new shelves. They're really not full other than just what's in the frame basically, but definitely going to be able to hold a lot more media. Um, they'll hold about 1,050 Blu-rays and about 800 DVDs. Got two of them, so definitely gonna hold a lot of stuff. Um, I don't know if this is how I'll have the camera set up every time, but I thought I'd just do something different today. I didn't really plan on doing another haul this week, but today is my birthday as I'm recording, and I hope to also put this out on my birthday, July 1st. And so I'm also off work for the 4th. The week of the 4th, I'm always off. Unless it was on a Sunday, I suppose I'd be off the week following. But anyway, usually on my birthday, I end up being off work. And so, given the fact that it's my birthday and I'm off work, I wanted to do one more haul this week. Just go look somewhere, since I could do it during the day on a weekday. And so, I enjoyed my looking around at disc replay in Columbus so much that I decided to hit up the Terre Haute disc replay, and I got quite a bit of stuff there. I go a little bonkers. The DVDs are a little more expensive than I like to pay, but they're just stuff that's less common. So like I said, I go a little crazy. So got a pretty good size haul there. Before I get to that, I wanted to open up a package from Miranda. We traded some Dollar Tree stuff, and then also I swapped one of her friends, James, some stuff too. And so James and I shipped to her so she could ship to us both. So there was some shipping being saved that way. Anyway, I will jump into that stuff. These are both bubble wrapped. I should have already got rid of that. Almost blocked my computer. So this first one is the trade I did with James. I never do remember what I traded to people, but what I got from him was At the Gate of the Ghost. And if I remember right, this is... I almost ought to just take my glasses off when I do these, because I always am looking over them and look like an old man. I don't know. I'm not going to read through this, but my understanding is this is almost like a Rashomon remake, or at least inspired by, and so I definitely want to check that one out. And then sorry, I didn't leave myself room to maneuver stuff very well. Hobo with a Shotgun, Rutger Hauer, with the slip, which is really awesome. I've definitely heard really good things about this one. I'm not the biggest gore hound, so I don't know if it's going to be like that or if it's just going to be bloody, but still, for just a trade, I'm definitely happy to have this in my collection. And then this is the stuff from Miranda. And she picked up a title that I've seen around here, but for whatever reason we just haven't been getting the Blu-rays. And I did have the DVD that I got in a previous trade, but I did upgrade to the Blu-ray of Bad Milo, and I probably said this already in the other video, but I didn't know I needed a movie about an ass demon, but I'm glad I got a movie about an ass demon. Ooh, I hadn't even noticed the slip. It's A Kind of Murder with Patrick Wilson. Ooh, and Jessica Biel. I didn't even know Jessica Biel was in this. I honestly know nothing about this, but there's the slip with the kind of reflective background so you can see my mess back there. I'm glad to have that one. And then Kevin Durant in Thunderstruck. I actually kind of thought this was a documentary until I saw somebody on Plat X2's channel ask how KD was as an actor. So, Kevin Durant, formerly of the Oklahoma Thunder, um, which makes this a bit of an oddity, right? Because, like, I don't know. I mean, because it's tied to that team. So, um, what's this? Kind of like Mike a little bit. Like, reminds me of that. So anyway, Thunderstruck. Happy to have that one. And then I also stopped by a Big Lots just to see, and they did have a few things with decent prices. Picked them up just to sell. Not particularly interested in any of. Well, there's one I'm kind of interested in, but I'd still probably sell it. First is Sleepless, and you may notice that this is not factory sealed. I picked it up and I didn't realize it had actually just been taped on top and the side. So, I picked it up and then I just went and took it off because it looked so ratty. But I believe what happened is somebody swiped the code out of it because it says digital HD and it had been opened and resealed. So, but whatever. Sean Penn, The Gunman. And then this is the one that I do have some interest in, but like I said, I would probably sell it. Krampus. That's a pretty good movie. Toni Collette is in it. Love Toni Collette. Trainwreck with Bill Hader and Amy Schumer. And Exodus, Gods and Kings. Actually, not sure. Okay, no. I actually kind of thought I might have had this one, but I went ahead and grabbed it. But I did not, so that's good. Okay, so now we're at the disc replay stuff. These first three, I probably picked up to flip, but especially the first one, if I get stuck with it, I'm totally fine with that. The first thing I picked up was Criterion, Night of the Hunter. This is a very good film. I did watch it just like last year when I had Criterion for a moment there. Criterion Channel, I mean. Which is kind of awesome if you're into Criterion stuff. I'm not the biggest streaming guy, but it's definitely worth a look. For $10 a month, I think, is what it was when I was doing it anyway. But, it does come with the book. Everything's mint. This was $12.50. They were $9.99 to, or maybe this was $12.99. They were $9.99 to $12.99. This might have been $12.99, but I had a 15% off. So, I mean, if I can sell it for $15 or more on eBay, I probably will. I'll probably list it once on an auction to hope it maybe goes up a little. But I make like $3 or something. But I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, at least for right now. Just make a few bucks here and there. Second, I picked up Push on 4K. Thought I'd just try to sell that one. And then, surprisingly, I was able at Disc Replay to pick up Gone with the Wind for $3.99. Haven't listed it. For some reason, you guys, this stuff makes me really apprehensive, and then I just kind of have to remember hey, if you sell it for $15, you made money. I'm always worried about trying to get as much as I can, and I don't know, it's this whole mind thing with me. Doesn't really matter. So I don't know. I may list it as an auction at 18 or something, maybe, I don't know, and just see what happens, or I may just slap 20 on it and try to sell it. I don't know. But that was pretty surprising to me that I found this for $3.99. Because I think they knew about it because they actually had a DVD that was marked at $9.99 that I kind of thought about, but I don't know. It didn't seem like there was enough money left on it. I mean, I probably could have sold it for 20, I guess, but I don't know. It just seemed weird to pick this up for $4.99 and pick the DVD up for $9.99. So I just picked this up. I don't know. My guess would be that they probably were selling this before, and the DVD probably came in since. But I'm surprised when the DVD came in, they didn't look at the Blu-rays. But anyway, Gone with the Wind, another copy. So that'll pay for probably at least a quarter of all this. Okay, so this is getting into my Christmas movie deal I have going on, which probably isn't of great interest to a lot of you, so I do apologize for putting you through that stuff. There is only about 7 here, so I'll breeze through most of them. I do have something to say about one of them, but this one's based on a hit song and best-selling book, The Christmas Shoes, with Rob Lowe and Kimberly Williams Paisley. Actually, I would be interested to know how many of you do like these kind of Christmas movies, because it seems like a few maybe do, but let me know. And then here's a double feature. The first one I'm kind of excited about to watch this year with my family because I didn't know it existed. I'm a big fan of I think it's ABC Family movie, Holiday in Handcuffs, where Melissa Joan Hart from Sabrina and Clarissa Explains It All and all kidnaps Mario Lopez to pretend to be her boyfriend. And this is a Lifetime movie that reteams them called A Very Merry Toy Store. Or maybe this even preceded that. I don't know. But I'm into these movies, especially with the nostalgia of somebody that's been in other things I like. And then there's also four Christmases and a wedding, sorry. So that's pretty cool. This one has Tatiana Ali from Fresh Prince wrapped up in Christmas. And also, it has Snowed In Christmas, which I was very excited to get. I picked this up, and I didn't even realize really that was one of them, and I noticed it, and then I was like, oh, is that the one? And it was. So Snowed In Christmas is actually a movie that is set in Santa Claus, Indiana, which is a real place. It is where Holiday World is, which used to be Santa Claus Land. It's a theme park based around holidays now. It was based around Christmas before. And the deal is with this one is that they got snowed in they got snowed in. They had to land their plane. The plane was forced to land, and they had to stay in Santa Claus, Indiana, which is kind of ridiculous. As far as I know, there's no airport near Santa Claus. There certainly isn't in Santa Claus. But anyhow, so they end up staying in Santa Claus, Indiana, and well, you know what's going to happen. But they have to stay at a bed and breakfast, and they fall in love, blah, blah, blah. And they try to save the inn, I think, is what happens. The bed and breakfast does not exist. Do not believe any of it was shot in Santa Claus, but it's still cool that it's set in Santa Claus, Indiana to me. So, glad to have that one. Next one is... I guess I should be saying which ones these are. Okay, so this is a Hallmark. It is North Pole with Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Just says Tiffany Thiessen here. Robert Wagner. You know, obviously she's from Beverly Hills 90210 and Saved by the Bell. Um, I don't know. I don't really remember what this one is about, but I've definitely seen it numerous times. I picked up a factory sealed Miracle on 34th Street, the original, 1947. I picked up Together Again for the First Time with Joey Lawrence there. Not doing a particularly good job of focusing again. And then another one with Rob Lowe and Neil Patrick Harris and Rebecca Gayheart and Angus T. Jones from Two and a Half Men. So very cool cast. The Christmas Blessing, and this is one of those feature films for families things. I don't know what channel this was on, but I've definitely seen it places. May have been on Up, I guess, now that I see the family thing. Okay, so now we're getting out of the Christmas and into other stuff. This is just kind of some random sort of stuff. I guess I put this here because it's sports related, and the next one is as well. Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Movie by Chris Bell. It kind of investigates whether steroids are as bad as we think, and whether it's fair to use them. It's interesting. No, I don't know. I'm scared to take a stance. Well, because honestly, I didn't really watch it that good. I did watch this yesterday, but I didn't really pay attention. And but it definitely seems like there's two sides to this debate. If everyone's doing it, is it cheating? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, yes, I would still say. But it would be better if just nobody was doing it. But anyhow, Bigger, Stronger, Faster, interesting documentary. Michael Jordan to the Max. I also popped this in last night, but both these I was watching while I was pricing some stuff and doing some eBay stuff. Pretty cool. They highlight the Indiana Pacers battle with the Bulls. I believe the Pacers actually pushed them to 7 that year, if I remember right from the movie. But pretty cool. And this is like the final year of Jordan's career, where they beat the Jazz. And I picked up He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I hope they nail the movie for this if they are still doing it. I've not heard anything in a while, but I just think it could be a really cool epic sort of thing if they do it right and really write a good movie. Somewhat like Lord of the Rings, but it would have all these different people, like the fire people and the bee people and all that. So I think it could be really cool. It's 10 best episodes picked by fans, I guess. So happy to add that. And then Paperman. This is one that I actually posted about on Instagram a while back. That I was like, how have I not heard about this? It's Ryan Reynolds playing a superhero. The back says Ryan Reynolds is loony in the best way. It's grow up time, it says. I guess he's a superhero. I guess I don't really know that, but he's certainly dressed as a superhero. Jeff Daniels, Ryan Reynolds, Emma Stone, and Lisa Kudrow. Very cool. It is rated R. I was thinking for a moment that maybe I could watch this with my kids because of Lisa Kudrow. My daughter's a big Lisa Kudrow fan, but rated R for a scene of sexuality. So maybe not. Not, sorry. Not maybe. This is something I don't really know about, but it's very strange looking. Warnings from Space. And this has, I guess, 3 movies on it: Zontar, The Thing from Venus, Slipstream, and Sci Fighters. Um, Slipstream is really the only one I've heard of, but it has this weird, like, it says packs the ammo, and it's got like these highlights about Bill Paxton. Um, Talks about him being in Aliens and Near Dark and Terminator and Weird Science. And then the other side kind of talks about all the movies. So it does have Slipstream with Mark Hamill. And Bill Paxton. Sci-Fighters, Billy Drago. Yeah, let me know if you've seen any of these. I have not seen any of them, but pick that up. Starman, John Carpenter. I believe the Physical Media Man picked up this on a Shout Factory Blu-ray the other day. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. I picked up Coffin Rock, IFC Midnight title. Yeah. I picked up Pulse, the original, Cairo. I picked up The Shape of Water. Trick or Treat, fantastic film. If you are into horror movies and have not seen this, definitely check this out this Halloween. This one was super cool. This is factory sealed, and it is a Tom Hanks triple feature with The Money Pit, The Burbs, and Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd. So very cool movies. Well, I suppose very cool movies. I definitely know The Burbs is a cool movie. I have not seen the other two, but The Money Pit especially sounds interesting, but I'm sure Dragnet would also be good. Okay, so here we're getting kind of into my my love of like documentaries and independent sort of films. This is Into the Arms of Strangers, stories of the Kindertransport. And without reading too much about this, I believe this to be prior to World War II. Okay, I am reading, sorry. An extraordinary rescue operation aided the youngest victims of Nazi terror. 10,000 Jewish and other children were transported from German-held lands to foster homes and hostels in Great Britain. So yeah, it's about getting the kids away before, before the genocide starts, I guess. So that looks like that would be pretty good. It is the best documentary feature at the Academy Awards in 2000. So this is an Errol Morris film, which I did not know, actually. I picked it up and then I found that out later, and I don't know. I was really surprised because I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it. But Standard Operating Procedure. The Scandal was a cover-up. I believe this to be about the mistreatment of prisoners at Abu Ghraib, probably. And then I picked up Obama's America, and because me picking it up says something, I just want to be clear what it does say. It mostly just says that I find it to be a time capsule sort of thing, adding it to my collection because I actually just find it very, very strange that this was the guy everyone was so terrified of. And I'll just leave it at that. This, I believe, to not be a documentary, but be like an independent coming of age sort of thing. The year my parents went on vacation. I don't know. This looks like a really good film to me. I don't know much about it, but definitely want to watch that. This is one I've heard about and seen many times, seen the case many times, but never have watched, and I definitely want to check it out. White God. It says the unwanted will have their day, and it says Lily is forced to give up her beloved dog because its mixed breed heritage is deemed unfit by the state. She and the dog begin a dangerous journey back towards each other. Okay, so they're separated. At the same time, all the unwanted, unloved, and so-called unfit dogs rise up under a new leader, Hagen, which is her dog, the one-time house pet who has learned all too well from his masters in his journey through the streets and animal control centers that man is not always dog's best friend. Sounds phenomenal to me. I definitely want to check that one out. And then the Secret Ballot. I'm sure this is something that's based on a true story, or at least has tinges of reality. Okay, so it's a satirical comedy that humorously sheds light on the universal discrepancies of the voting process and gender differences. So, sounds like it would be a good one. Glad I got that. And then the rest of these, I guess, until the last one anyway, would be, well, just older films. I was going to say classics, but that, I really don't know. Some of these I haven't even heard of, but bunch of these I just picked up because they're older. You don't see them out as much, so I love to pick up older films. This one's actually not all that old. I believe most of these, until the last one, are older than me. This one came out when I was 2. Spies Like Us with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. Never seen that one. Don't know. Let me know how that is. Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford and directed by Sidney Pollack. And most of these I have not seen, so let me know how they are. Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Christopher Plummer in The Man Who Would Be King, 1975. Death in Venice. Don't know much about that one. The Best of Everything with Hope Lang, 1959. Bedtime Story with Marlon Brando, David Niven, and Shirley Jones. Kiss Me Kate. Classic musical. And I guess he's dancing, but it kind of looks like he's about to spank her, doesn't it? Witty and thoroughly beguiling, every number's a showstopper. So I don't know. I like musicals. Bing Crosby is kind of my favorite in that genre, but I'm open to checking that out. Here is I almost walked out without this. I saw this at the last moment, and I was like, ooh. And they were buy three get three free, so I had to like swap one out if I wanted to get this, and I was like, can I swap one out? So they let me. Didn't make a big deal about it. The Philadelphia Story. I'm so glad I got to add this to my collection. Cary Grant, James Stewart, Katharine Hepburn. I gotta tell you, like, you see what's going on here, and I was worried I was going to have to root against James Stewart. Like, I thought, well, maybe Cary Grant is going to be the lead and the one who's trying to, persuade her away from some evil corporate guy or something like that. But not the case. And you can actually root for both of them, believe it or not, with that cover. Sort of. Gotta tell you, the movie's a little strange because, so Cary Grant is like upper class. She's upper class. And then he's a journalist. James Stewart is a journalist. And the kind of whole thrust of the movie is that both of them are trying to get her not to marry this commoner. And that's a little weird at this point in history, I guess. But movie magic. You can go with it and not be too upset by it. Well, I mean, look, people should be with whoever they should be with. So you could certainly view it that she just wasn't meant to be with that guy, whether he was a commoner or not. But the weird thing is, at the end, I'm not sure I like who she did get with, and if she should have been with that person either. But anyway, I'm rambling, but I did enjoy the Philadelphia Story, despite all of my nitpicking, I guess, quite a bit. You gotta love the acting. I mean, Cary Grant, James Stewart, Katharine Hepburn. Just doesn't get any better. And speaking of Katharine Hepburn, I picked up Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn movie, Pat and Mike. I've never heard of this one. I have seen them together in the desk set, which actually the Physical Media Man picked up at the other disc replay the other day. This looks like it's a little bit later movie of theirs. I guess, anyway. I don't know. Spencer Tracy's looking a little bit older to me, but I could be wrong. It is 52. Let's see, when was Philadelphia Story? Oh yeah, Philadelphia Story is 40. So, and then I picked up a Humphrey Bogart film, The Petrified Forest. I don't know much about this. Is Warner Brothers Gangsters, like White Heat, that I picked up the other day. Let me know if this is any good. Definitely love Bogart. And I was really disappointed because I also had Dark Passage with Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart, but they keep the discs behind the counter a lot of times. Sometimes they're in the case, but sometimes they're behind the counter. And they somehow misplaced the disc, so that was a real bummer for me. Definitely would have watched Dark Passage. Here's a Bette Davis film, Now Voyager. I don't know anything about that. Lullaby of Broadway. Another one I do not know anything about, but it has Doris Day and Jean Nelson. Sorry. I picked up Harvey. This is full frame, I believe, which I thought maybe they were all that way, but I think not. I think definitely the Blu-ray is widescreen, so I don't know. I probably won't be keeping this permanently, but I'm glad to have a copy, at least for the moment. All about a guess you could say, good-natured drunk. Elwood P. Dowd, who is constantly walking around with his invisible 6-foot rabbit. So, yeah, it's a great film. I love it. This is one I watched last year on Criterion Channel. Also, Detour. Like I said, there is a Criterion. This is not a Criterion release, but picked it up. I guess this is... I don't know. The Wade Williams collection. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that. It may not be of particularly good quality. I don't know, but pretty interesting movie. Takes a wrong turn and picks up the meanest broad in all noir, played to perfection by the incomparable Anne Savage in the most powerful and riveting performance ever recorded on celluloid. And that sounds like hyperbole, but I do remember thinking that Anne Savage was tremendous in this one. And then I picked up Sunset Boulevard with William Holden, Gloria Swanson, and Eric von Stroheim. Very good film. Then I picked up Burt Lancaster and Jim Thorpe, football player and Olympian. This would probably make a good double feature with that Newt Rockney DVD I picked up last week. And then I picked up East Side, West Side with Barbara Stanwyck, James Mason, Van Heflin, and Ava Gardner. Great cast, but I do not know much about it, so let me know. And then this last one, you haven't seen the video yet, but I got a big box, well, 3 big boxes of VHSs that I picked up for free. And the video will actually probably be the next video to drop on the channel. It's just me going through some VHSs, so feel free to skip it if you're not into that. But I don't know, the nostalgia and just looking through old movies, and there were some interesting ones in there, some that I was like, what is this? And then I read it, and I was even more like, what is this? So that'll be the next video posted probably. Like I said, feel free to watch or not, but all that to say that this came on my radar in that box. This is Flawless with Robert De Niro and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I had never heard of this, and it looks super interesting. I hate that when it has plastic on it, it has such a glare. But yeah, anyway, this was factory sealed. They had an unsealed one, but I grabbed this one. Actually comes from Joel Schumacher, also rest in peace. Just passed, last week? But yeah, this is from, I guess, 1999. And I don't know, it just looks super interesting. It says they couldn't like each other less or need each other more. 2 thumbs up from Ebert and the movies. So I'm excited to check that one out. Let me know how that is if you have seen it. And that will be it for now, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on my birthday. Now, I suppose some of you are watching in the future, right? But thumbs up if you don't mind. Shares are welcome, and if you aren't subscribed or haven't hit the bell notification, please do so if you don't mind, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.